jaw-dropping it certainly was, but there's one person who'll have had a chuckle as she watched the Princess of Wales, serene in a sumptuous peacock blue ball gown, make her very own musical contribution to last weekend's Eurovision finals. Seated at a grand piano in the ballroom of Windsor Castle, cameras swirling around her, Kate got the TV song extravaganza underway with a demonstration of her keyboard skills. The performance came as a complete surprise, and for impact, pretty much matched the Queen's last TV joke, with Paddington Bear, for her jubilee less than a year ago. Strange how quickly the world moves on. So who was the person laughing her socks off as Kate tickled the ivories? Step forward her mother, Carole Middleton, who long ago had to drag her schoolgirl daughter to endless piano lessons. Though Kate excelled as a sportswoman at her prep school, St Andrews, in Berkshire, and played flute in the school orchestra, she struggled with the piano, and Carole, then busily getting her party pieces business underway, decided to order extra lessons. Prince Harry felt sick as William turned down wedding request with forward reply driven by a burning desire to see her children succeed. Carole, now 68, even took time out to take lessons along with them in the hope of achieving better results. Kate's teacher, Daniel Nichols, would later recall Riley, "I don't think anybody expected her to be a concert pianist, but she did what was asked and she enjoyed it, which is the main thing." A polite way of saying, perhaps, that Kate was not so good. Which raises the question, did Carole have a second chuckle when she saw her daughter playing that distinguished-looking Steinway and wonder if Kate was in fact miming to another player's music? It hardly matters. Her daughter was a picture of radiance in an image which was to explode on the Eurovision stage to roars of applause, and go viral on social media. It was another striking visual success for the Wales family, just one of a huge number of appearances William and Kate have put in before, during, and since the coronation. Indeed, now that the new king's reign is in full swing, we can begin to see the Waleses, too, have a fresh agenda. Just as Charles plotted his own career moves as he grew into the job of Prince of Wales, so too are his son and daughter-in-law. One distinguished royal commentator this week described the couple's daily appearances as a social media blitz, ramping up excitement among Gen Z. And while some are beginning to wonder whether perhaps we're beginning to see a bit too much of the Waleses, nobody can deny the colossal amount of effort husband and wife are putting into the day job. Don't miss. Carole and Michael sold £1.6 house in 2012 and now live in a home 3 times the price. Inside party lifestyle of Prince George's godfather crowned richest Briton under 35. Latest King Charles' fortune almost double that of late Queen Elizabeth's according to Rich List. Discover that sense of urgency can be traced back to one person, Carole Middleton, a woman with an awesome work ethic who occupies a unique place in history from being an outsider within the tight-knit royal circle. King Charles grew up surrounded by his blue-blooded family and an outer phalanx of old-school courtiers, all of whom believed things should be done the way they'd always been done. He had no outside advisors from a different walk of life, and one might say that only since he inherited the throne has Charles been able to break free from the shackles of his past. William and Kate don't have that problem. For the first time in history, the future king will have as part of his closest royal circle someone with that outsider's view, someone who has seen how the other half lives, indeed, has lived as the other half live. When I first revealed, in the run-up to her engagement to William, Catherine Middleton's mixed-class background, it sent shockwaves through royal traditionalists. They'd expected the future king to plump for a foreign princess as his future wife, or perhaps the daughter of a British lord. My research turned up the fact that Carole's forebears were coal miners, generation upon generation of them. Sons followed fathers down the mine as soon as they were strong enough to lift a pickaxe. Lives were brutal and often cut short by accident and disease. Carole's people were among the poorest, living in modest cottages in the northeast of England without running water, electricity, or indoor lavatory. What doesn't kill you makes you strong, the saying goes, and it is certainly true in Carole's case. Her great-grandfather, already fatherless, worked down the pit from the age of 14 until his death at 60, but her grandfather broke the cycle of premature death by heading south to take up a job as a carpenter. His daughter Dorothy, Carole's mother, married a lorry driver. So Carole was born working class, and saw life from a very different perspective. She still sees it from that perspective, even though today she lives in a manor house in Berkshire and is a welcome visitor to every royal residence. She never lost the work ethic drilled into her by her parents and grandparents, and as a new mother with baby Catherine in a pram, realized the difficulties that similar overworked mothers faced in trying to put together birthday parties for their growing children. Party Pieces was born at dead of night in the garden shed of the Middleton family home. When Kate and sister Pippa were tucked up in bed, Carole would work away assembling made-up party bags and take them along to the local preschool group to try to interest other mothers, writes Kate's biographer Sean Smith. Their positive reaction gave her the confidence to go on. Carole's was the driving force which turned Party Pieces into a multi-million-pound business, despite the occasional sneer from snobs, jealous mothers and columnists looking for something to write. Her pre-marriage job as an air stewardess gave rise to further snooty remarks, and as Carole moved towards the grand social position she now occupies, that outsider view stayed with her. When William came into Catherine's life, friends say, it was as if the prince had finally found his home. Princess Diana had been dead for nearly 5 years, and his father was permanently busy. The Middletons had all the time in the world for him, and slowly the prince's wounds started to heal. That was more than 20 years ago, and since then, the relationship between mother-in-law and prince has grown closer and closer. Indeed, it's possible to see the shrewd eye of Carole Middleton behind William's many appearances without a necktie, something Charles could never have contemplated in a month of Sundays, and his many other examples of studied informality, striking just the right balance between being royal and being accessible. And, just as she moved up from the working class to the middle class, so Carole has encouraged William and Kate to step down from the lofty heights of castles and palaces into a more comfortable place socially. Experts, too, sense the counsel of Mrs. Middleton in the announcement this week that William wants a different coronation from his father's, one that looks and feels different. While the May 6 ceremonial was the spectacle everyone hoped it would be, commentators worried whether it could ever be repeated. Would it have any relevance to the younger generations of tomorrow? Or would such grandeur and pomp alienate future subjects? If William needed to ask anyone how to cope with that one, it has to be Carole. Her toughness and shrewdness have brought her a long way, but at some personal cost, so Carole will have been relieved this week to have sold the Party Pieces empire she built up with husband Michael, 73, to Essex entrepreneur James Sinclair, after facing significant operating difficulties during the pandemic. Friends revealed the couple were planning to step away from the firm to spend more time for family, gardening and travel. And now she's free to devote her time to the even more important job of providing backup and support for her daughter and son-in-law, and, as the only grandmother of another future king, Prince George, to to him, his sister Charlotte and brother Louis. Which raises the question, what recognition can William possibly give his mother-in-law by way of thanks when, in time, he inherits the throne? In recent weeks I've heard speculation that, as King William V, he could name Carole Middleton as the new Queen Mother. That ancient title is generally given to the mother of a sovereign, but few have been as supportive than Carole since 2001, when she first invited the future king into her home. The Middleton matriarch will also be the mother of a queen, Catherine, and so doubly qualifies for the honor. Many years have passed since the death of the previous holder of that title. The late Queen's mother passed away in 2002, and those who know her feel, in the thankfully egalitarian age in which we now live, that no more fitting title could be bestowed upon Carole Middleton, the girl born with coal dust in her veins and iron in her soul.
Now take